Welcome in, everybody, to a Tuesday night edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin. I am live on camera, realizing that my shirt has boogers on it from my son, who is losing his mind still to this moment. But
are you on the right mic too, by the way, Jimmy?
and I'm on the wrong mic, I'm sure, because
I think so.
that's how these things go. I am. Hold on.
Dad life, ladies and gentlemen.
Much better.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I'm so glad to be on my mic too. But we're back. We're home. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate Glenn for holding it down after a tough loss, which of course we're going to dig into and dissect here.
Gang, boys. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. more than what Glenn even did on Sunday night. We got Coach coming on the show with us, so we got an action-packed show. Please hang out with us and commiserate as we move forward into the last push towards the end of the season. But Glenn, before we get into it, talk about who we have tonight as a sponsor of the show.
Yeah, this episode is sponsored by BetOnline, who continues to be the world's most trusted online betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch and gamble on the games as they happen, with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today, and don't forget to use promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. Yeah, Jimbo, that was a tough one last week against a really good team, a hot team, but a game that I think every Ravens fan was still expecting to win. It was a home game, and look, it's a pretty good Ravens team as well, so expectations were high, even though it was a formidable opponent. We didn't get your post-game reaction, so what was your thoughts watching that game, Jimbo?
Yeah, I mentioned it before the show. I tried to watch as much as I could from the post-game show that you did. And I think your description saying whack-a-mole was right on, right? It's like as soon as one burner turns off, the other turns on, the other burner just turns off, right? And it's just this weird thing. I came out of this game not as infuriated as the Pittsburgh Steelers game, mostly because at this point, I don't know if I'm a full-hearted believer, right? Like this is what I think is going to happen right now. If you're asking me, I think 2 weeks we're going to beat the brakes off the Giants, and then things are going to be dicey till the end. I don't know how much hope I can have, and I hate doing this. I hate doing this, Glenn. No. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how much hope I have that things are just going to change. Now, if I'm looking on the positive side of things, the defense has done so much to mitigate the big play. They've made so much of an improvement that does at least provide me with proof that things can change and things that we're doing wrong. But one thing I want to point out, there are a lot of people that love Lamar Jackson, and count me in as one of them. I didn't see one dime, like straight up dime dart that we're used to seeing a few times a game. Guys made made good catches, Mark specifically. But I saw a lot of off balance, unnecessarily sloppy footwork out of Lamar Jackson, overthrows and things like that. And so that was a bit bummy to me, a bit of a surprise to me. On the positive side, I'm hopeful that if anyone can turn it around, this offense has obviously proven that they're worthy of our faith. Mm-hmm. And if our defense is intact, then our offense should turn it around. I just thought it was a weird game offensively. I don't know how much to blame on Monken because we're going to get through some snap count stuff. We're going to talk about some play call and some play choice stuff. But at the end of the day, the offense needs to put this thing together no matter who they're playing against. Obviously, the wide receiver depth hurt with Deontay, the ghost thing going on with Deontay that no one really knows about. Bateman going down. So that kind of, you have some.
B More Parts points it out real quick, though, Jimbo. The best throw we saw was the dot he threw to Nelson, who dropped it in the, the left side. Now, it would have been a tough grab. But that was the only dot I remember seeing, but you're right to the rest of your point.
And look, it's not that Lamar. The reason I'm bringing it up is because Lamar traditionally does it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's because I'm surprised by it.
Yep.
Right. I'm not trashing the guy. I'm just surprised because it's been one of the most consistent things we've seen this year from the Baltimore Ravens. So, I have my concerns. I'm hopeful to make it through this bye more positive than I am right now, Glenn. I think objectively, we are not a football winning team. We're making too many mistakes on special teams, too many mistakes offensively. The offensive line is dicey and the defense is average. Like, I don't know another way to describe our team right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, the disappointing part is every time the offensive line seems to take 2 steps forward, they take a step backward. And particularly when it comes to a defensive line that has a dominant force like Jalen Carter or
Yep.
like Chris Jones,
Yep.
Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. We talk about it in the games, Max Crosby, the games the Ravens have lost. The common denominator has typically been a dominant performance by the defensive line and a lesser performance by the offensive line. But the scariest part, Jimbo, was this. Let me see my numbers here. The Eagles blitz the Ravens at just 13% of the time, Jimbo. And yet 56% pressure rate, despite only rushing with 4 guys. And so that's the scariest part. Like 4 times this year, the Ravens have allowed a 40-plus pressure rate against the Bengals, against the Browns, against the Steelers, and now against the Eagles. And, the Bengals, the Steelers, certainly Blitzburg would bring some extra guys, but that's the scariest part. The Eagles didn't need to do that. They didn't blitz. And that's been something Lamar's been good at countering is the blitz. Well, they just said, all right, we just won't blitz. We'll drop 7 into coverage, which is incredibly hard to throw into. And we're going to pressure your quarterback still 6% of his dropbacks. So it's like, that's an awfully tough task for Lamar Jackson to deal with when Bateman goes down. You got a couple guys who seemingly can't separate, the disappearing act of Deontay Johnson. And then they go, we're going to make you throw into a 7-man coverage while also you got to deal with pressure from some monsters when we're only sending 4. Like, it was a lot on hit. Now, to your point, he missed some throws. There's no doubt about it. He missed some throws. I mean, there's you'll see the compilations out there on X and all on these other sources where you'll see missed throws, but man, there wasn't a lot helping him at the same time. And there was occasions where he's dropping back, looking for guys to throw. There's no outlet. There's no short route. So, man, it was a frustrating occurrence. But, Jimbo, Macari started hot, comes in looking good, and it just seems like he's whiffing, not playing physical. And some are saying we need to bring Voorhees back into this lineup. Are you ready to see a change maybe at any of the guard spots?
I think if Voorhees, oh man, I'm going to sound like John. I think if Voorhees was playing better practice, he'd be on the football field.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't think either of them are great options. I think it's just that right now.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate, but I think if Voorhees was clear and above playing better football from the beginning of the season when he was out there, right?
Well, look, read this one here for us.
Let's see. JT401 says defense got 9 pressures on Hurts. Our left guard gave up 9 pressures alone. Hold on. Okay. Our O-line is weak and we don't have the personnel to run the kind of offense we claim. Yeah, that's fair. I guess my only point is that, like, I guess
you're telling he's better.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think John's dumb enough to say, oh, we have this guy so much better on the bench. Let me just keep running McCary out there. Now look, we could.
A lot of people said that's what they're doing with Cleveland and Faalele all year.
Maybe. I mean, we saw some whiffs.
Yeah. Some of the whiffs by McCary and Faalele were
pretty bad.
Oof,
but look, guys, I think it's fair to say, like, Cleveland and Voorhees aren't world beaters.
No.
There's not a Bryant McKinney sitting on our bench that's in the doghouse for eating too much McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bryant McKinney, that's it. Like,
there's no option.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about that often because when that dude came in, it was like a whole new world, right? Like,
yeah,
dude, freaking Joe Flacco's back there singing like Jasmine from Aladdin, right? I mean, it was just ridiculous. But no,
it doesn't help, Jimbo, when you see the 3/4 of the season All Pro list came out yesterday or today. Starting right guard for the NSC team.
Kevin Zeitler, dude. Kevin Zeitler, it is frustrating. Don't get me wrong. I hate watching Lions games because I can't. It just hurts.
He's just dominating. He's better now than ever. And then also for the AFC, which doesn't help, the starting center and left guard are both Chiefs. So, they can continue to put a wall in front of their guy.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say one thing, though, Glenn, because you talked about something in the show. You don't know whether you kind of don't know whether whether to feel bad for or to be mad at Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the super chat down? If that's okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thank you. Gotta get the moneymaker in the shot, Glenn. But before Coach hops in, I just want to say that I'm not gonna rag on Justin Tucker right now.
You're not going to do it?
As much as my initial reaction was to do so,
Yeah.
I think that one, I don't think we have a guy. I don't think there's a guy walking around on the street that's better. Like, I don't think so.
I think that's safe to say. Yeah.
And two, I just have a hard time believing that this is it for Justin.
You think he snaps out of it eventually?
I just have a really, really hard time imagining Mariano Rivera forgetting how to close baseball games.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because look, that he was the closest thing in the NFL to it, right?
Yeah.
And I just have a really hard time believing that this is his swan song. Like, this is it. I don't believe that.
It's an awfully steep clip. Just boom. Like the GOAT to average, below average.
Yeah, he needs to get his electrolytes up or something. Something's going on there. Get some B12s, get some supplements in you, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not going to be that person that sits here and rags him. I think there are other things that we can focus on that I would be more critical of. Plenty critical of Justin Tucker.
Well, let me say this, Jimbo, before you finish that. The Ravens' 5 losses this year are by a combined score of 22 points. In those 5 losses, Justin Tucker's combined misses total 22 points.
Ugh, that's brutal.
How'd that one hit your soul, Jimbo?
Pretty hard. Pretty hard.
Yeah, I think I think what you're doing is you're wishful thinking right now. You are hoping like hell because I think you're just as nervous as the rest of us that this guy is somehow lost it in his brain. Because I'm certainly much more worried. I'm more worried about Justin Tucker than. Oh, man, I'm trying to think if there's another group of I think he's the most worrisome of them all. I mean, I'm worried about the offensive line. Don't get me wrong, but dude, that's 22 points that he's taking off the board by his damn self. Shout out to Don C. Everybody was saying, where's Don at tonight? He comes flying in with 5 gifted memberships. The legend that is Don C. But look, here, we'll throw this on, then we got to get Coach in here. Cito says no one is better than Tucker resume-wise, but if he's missing PATs, you really can't get any worse than that. You can't. And when you combine a missed PAT with 2 missed field goals, you really can't get much worse than that. And that's 7 points off the board. Could have changed the game. Could have changed a lot of games, his performance. Cito, we certainly appreciate the super chat. But, yeah, he's got to be better. I don't know. We're going to get into it with Coach here. And welcome him back to the show, Coach Evans from Sifted Sally. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out. Appreciate you. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Got the hat on low tonight.
No, I'm wondering if the hat is strategic.
Mean? Yeah, does this mean something?
Okay,
all right.
Okay. I'm trying to hide the tears as I was.
Oh, man. I'm like, is he down? What's going on, man? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Doing
good,
well,
man. Good, Coach. I got a few questions for you. I kind of want to start
before we get into it. I want to ask you a question. Did you make the call to have Oweh get less snaps?
Yes. Where'd he go, Coach?
Did you make the call
for
Oweh to get less snaps? You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yes. Coach getting right to the hard questions. Answered. Why the hell did Tavius steal all his snaps?
What did he do wrong? Honestly, though, what happened?
He just comes off, 5 straight games with 6 pressures or something crazy, and he gets benched.
What do you guys think happened?
No, John said it's because it was a run heavy game and Tavius plays the run better. That's what John said. But Oweh been one of our better run edges
since he got here.
Been there. He couldn't pass rush. He could always play the edge. So
yeah,
it's baffling to me.
Well,
I and let's just look.
It's just the good Lord wanting Glenn to live longer is what it is.
That's what it is. That's the big guy looking out for me here. But I sticking with the snap counts. I mean, you seem just as puzzled by Oweh, but why does Pat Ricard in a week where we just lose Charlie Kohler and you're dealing with a monster front go from 54% snap share against the Chargers down to 26%, more than in half? I thought we'd see, if anything, an uptick with the loss of Charlie Kohler. Why did Ricard's snaps get plummeted?
It's amazing that happened because it'd be different if we started off behind. If we were down and Ricard didn't play that much because we're trying to catch up, but we had a lead. and he wasn't playing that much. Maybe they didn't want extra guys in the box because they knew that their front was better than our front. That could be one thing, but I don't. I feel like Ricard just fell into that Charlie Kolar role because I honestly think, and I never thought I'd say this, we missed Kolar this game blocking on the edge or helping with some edge guys or with some linebackers or stuff like that. We missed that. I didn't think he was that impactful, but Kolar was good in the run game, and our run game suffered without him being in there. And credit to Philly's D line, they D line are some beasts, but Kolar's impact was felt from my point of view.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Is it a case of? I think this happens once a quarter in the season. I don't know if you guys know what the pride cycle is, but like Monken goes through this thing. What's the saying where like my dad walked to work, or my grandfather walked to work, my dad took the bus to work, I drive a Cadillac to work, my son will drive a Lamborghini to work, his son will walk to work, right? Like it's the cycle of like, going through, like, I feel like Monken goes through this thing in his head, right? Where he like sticks to the basics. It looks great. It looks good. People start pumping him up. Everyone's talking about the plays in the front of the draws and everything else and all the swag he's got. And all of a sudden he starts getting a little too full, big for his britches. And then all of a sudden, you start to see questionable calls, right? Do you think that there's a little bit of that going on here? Does Monken have some blame here? Or was this really just a team that dominated the line of scrimmage and we didn't really have much of a chance as the game went on?
I think they dominated the line of scrimmage. And I think going into it, they knew we were kind of not going to be very good at the line of scrimmage. So the plan was to spread them out as much as we can and hopefully have an advantage because they were down Darius Slay. Then for one point, what's the good rookie? Well, both
Quinyon.
Quinyon went out for a minute, and I just thought that they was thinking, okay, they're down on the edges, and we have decent enough receivers to beat their backups. Let that be the thing. And it obviously wasn't, because even with Derek having 80 something odd yards, that was a tough 80 yards. It's like one of the guys on the faculty said he was getting handoffs and getting hit in the backfield, and he had to fall forward for 3-4 yards. He didn't really have very many clean runs at all. And Jordan Davis played a lot better than we don't know what Jalen Carter is. You got a double and whatnot. But Jordan Davis, when he got one-on-ones, whether it was versus Makari, whether it was versus Linderbaum or Falele, he dominated just as well. And guys I didn't even know, Mojo or whatever his name was, they solid across the front. I mean, they better than solid across the front. They pretty darn good across the front. They about 6 deep across the front, and we had no answer for it. So once you get in a situation where you can't block, you kind of panic a little bit, on all levels, because you really don't know what to call. Because they can't block the run. Then your quarterback gonna get murked if you drop back all the time. It's just when your O-line ain't good, it's tough on the play caller to do anything really.
Man, that's a scary thing to hear, Coach, because in the playoffs you're obviously only going to be dealing with good teams, and a lot of teams got pretty good pass rushers and some dominant fronts in the playoffs. And Coach, I think what scared me the most, I talked about before you jumped on with us, 13% blitz rate, 56% pressure rate. I mean, they did it with a 4-man blitz, and we talked about how hard it is as a quarterback to throw into a 7-man coverage. And then you're doing that with a hand in your face, even though they're only sending 4.
All right.
Is there answers to that? Like, is it just hope the line gets better? Like what? Because it doesn't seem like there's a guy in-house that's going to make a sweeping change if you insert him in the lineup. What's your confidence level in this offensive line going forward?
Pretty much a little bit. My thing is Todd has to figure out a way to hide them. And the only way to hide them is to run away from that right side. And at some point, other coaches watch film too, and they pick up on trends. They're going to overload the defensive right, offensive left, and make us run to that side. And then all you need is 2 people over there. You need somebody that's fairly strong in front of Roger, and no say to Roger, he's just not strong enough yet. I think he will be. And then somebody in Falele that has a little bit of quickness, because he can't move enough to block people, and to be so big, he can't move people. So
It's crazy.
It's wild to be almost 400 pounds and you can't move a 180 defensive end. Like what's the number 3 from Georgia that played with the Eagles? He was a defensive end, but he's real fast. And Farley
Reddick?
couldn't move him.
Reddick?
No, not Reddick. Reddick was 7.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's number 3.
Graham? No,
Graham
got hurt. Yeah, Graham got hurt.
I can't
One
think
of
his
them.
name. But he's from Georgia, and he just couldn't move him. Nolan, there it is. Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith. Yeah,
that's what
the Niners. I think.
Nah, he got drafted. He won all of them Georgia boys that Billy got.
Well, they got 4.
They got Nolan. They got Jordan Davis. They got Carter. They got Kobe Dean, and I think they had a DB at one point.
It's insane. Absolutely insane. Massey says Reddit is split on Tucker. I'm a ride or die with him. Monken and Lamar run the ball more, minimize low percentage big shots in plus territory. Jimmy, did you feel like they took too many? Because this has been a criticism I'm hearing about from a lot of fans. They took too many big shots, especially on short yard, like short third downs.
Yeah.
They're taking deep shots with low percentage chances. Did you feel that was the case? You feel like they kind of overshot and should have just kind of taken it and extend the drive?
I don't know if I felt that like in the midst of battle. I did feel like, and Lamar talked about it, so look, that's a big part of our DNA as an offense. I don't want them to take that away. So, looking at it now, I feel like telling them to rein it in, I don't know if that's the best answer. I will say this, Lamar's mom talked about it. Obviously, she cursed him out for it. I do think on some of those opportunities, we could have, where it ended up being a deep throw, he could have just taken off and taken what the defense gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And in that way, you kind of shift the dynamic or at least the result in those large plays down the field, because if it doesn't result in a really, in a low risk throw, and then Lamar runs it. He's your ultimate third down option. Right. So I think there was some where he looked a little bit 2020 to me. You know what I'm saying? Where he was kind of like, and it's like, Lamar, just forget what people have to say and just go. Like, do you? You know what I mean? Yeah. I could be wrong about that, but my initial instinct is to say I think getting rid of the big play, not getting rid of the big play, but like trying to remove it out of our DNA is probably not a good idea. But I do think Lamar should have taken off on some of those.
No doubt.
That ended up being those longer throws anyway.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it's not just us saying it. Obviously, Lamar's mom said it herself to him. But, Coach, this is a question I have for you, because Voorhees, if you just look at, some early season numbers about what he was doing from PFF and stuff like that, some people are going, McCary's had a run, but he leads the league in penalties. He gave up 9 pressures alone by himself last week, where our entire team had 9 pressures. And Quan, I think, is talking about that. He said, you mean to tell me Voorhees can't come in and lead the league in flags and get bullied like McCary's doing? Because that's exactly what McCary's doing. He said McCary was the best left tackle with Rose on the bench. Who's Rose? Am I tripping?
Rosengarten.
Rosengarten. Oh, okay. Best right tackle with Rosengarten. Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch what McCary's doing and think Voorhees can't be any better. What do you think about that, Coach?
Not only Voorhees, Josh Johnson got to be just as, my thing is, if the guys behind McCary are that bad, they don't belong in the NFL. Whether that's Josh Jones, whether that's Voorhees, whether that's Ben Cleveland. Like, if they are worse than what Pat McCary is, they should not be in the NFL.
Damn, that's how bad he's playing.
Right. That this game, this is in the 4 or 5 years I've been doing film study, this might be the worst offensive line, like individual, next to a tape of Villanueva, and that's still the game. He was that bad. He was terrible. His PFF grade and they normally bump you up a little bit. His was 30 something, if I'm not mistaken.
Oof, Jesus. That's just, they give you a 30 for just putting your cleats
Put your name on the paper.
Right. I was going to say, yeah. Wearing the right uniform, right?
Right. Showing up, you get 25 at least.
It's like putting your name on the SAT.
As I was going to say, yeah, it's like getting
You put your name on the SATs, they give you at least 400. Damn, Coach, that hurt. That's tough to hear. But yet, even with that, guys, Coach was asked, and he says, this is the quote, "I don't think it merits any changes right now, the offensive line." So is this just stubbornness? I mean, what are we talking?
I had a theory with it.
Okay.
I talked about it yesterday with the fellas on my show. last time we were up in this huge uproar about the O-line when we were 0-2. And we were like, some changes need to happen, And John came out in the press and said, hey, you might see some new people out there. We did not. So now he's saying that we won't see new people out there.
Reverse
we
psychology.
might now.
Okay.
We might not, because he always thinking, I don't want to get on the way to the opposing team. But I mean, after play 2, they know. So what did it matter if they knew on play 1?
Right. That's a good point.
So, but
the mystery's done after play 1. So what the hell are we doing? Yeah.
So Don C says, Coach Evans, I haven't looked at the all 22 yet, but I think that game sucked. Don, that's an astute observation.
Offensively, yes. The defense did some good things up until the end there.
No, that it's such a wild thing to be saying that, right? Like the script has flipped on this team right now. The offense has certainly regressed. Don C says, why didn't they have Pat Ricard in the I formation when Henry absolutely made me nuts. They try to be too cute, drives me nuts. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was referring to before. Like, is this just Monken trying to get too fancy with it, right? Like, is he putting too much salsa on his tacos at this point? Like, what's the deal, man?
I really just think he don't have confidence in that O-line. And he's trying to find, like, if you put Ricard in there, there's going to be another guy in the box. And they already were going to beat us in the box. We knew that kind of early. So I just think he didn't play him because you needed to try to spread them out as much as possible, and hopefully you can get some 1v1s up front, and maybe Derek hit one. That's my thinking. And I may be giving him the benefit of the doubt, but that's my thinking.
And the 1v1s just didn't go well on the outside. Certainly Bateman's absence. It was felt. It's crazy to see the type of importance this guy really truly brings to this offense. I mean, it's just like anybody you remove from the offense. Like everybody, the headline, Ravens land starter on IR. It's like, oh no, who is it? And then everybody breathes, oh, it's just Charlie Kohler. Oh yeah, it's just Charlie Kohler. But like you said, Coach, just Charlie Kohler was missed like hell last week. And so anytime you're missing guys, Bateman might not be considered one of our most important offensive pieces, but after last week, I don't know, man. He might certainly be rising the ranks there. Massey says Dan Orlovsky broke down Jalen's touchdown drives. He was running the ball or short passes. Why did Lamar throw 36 times? Jalen only completed 11 out of 19. Yeah, Jalen didn't have a great game, but I think Coach, what you're saying is that they thought, hey, let's spread these guys out. Let's allow our guys on the outside to win one-on-one matchups. And if they want to stack the box, if they want to, dare us to throw, okay, we'll just throw. It just didn't work.
Right. Just didn't work. And I did one of Jalen's TD drives today. Because I remember watching the game live, and Tavius Robinson got a tackle for loss. But he screamed down the line and like with no regard to Jalen pulling the ball and running it, because we all know Jalen can run. And so I remember, watching. I'm like, I hope we scrape exchange that, because if he gonna scream down the line, that's cause for concern. So not the next play, but the plays after that, they schemed Tavius up for the next 4 plays, and that's the touchdown they end up getting with the tight end. And even though that touchdown shouldn't have counted, because AJ Brown blocked instantly, and they had an ineligible guy downfield, which seems to only get called on us. But still, they basically schemed Tavius Robinson on the edge after he made that tackle for loss.
Yeah. There's a lot of missed calls in that game. False starts on the tush push.
Right.
False starts on the touchdown run from Saquon. I continue to be baffled at what the hell the Ravens did to the referees, because they don't miss a damn thing. If a guy's rolling on the ground and hits that 5-yard mark past the line of scrimmage, I don't care if it was inconsequential to the play, but they got dudes jumping false starts and clearing lanes and just fine. That's fine. It's no problem.
Yeah, we talked to him about it. No big deal. We gave him a warning on it, Oh my gosh. Now, Coach, if you look at this thing from a macro perspective, we have 3 units that we have different concerns about. The defense seemingly seems to be the unit that we are the least concerned about right now. I'm not saying they're playing perfect, but today they might, while they have their concerns, they might be the lowest on the list. We have the defense, special teams, and offense. Are there, where does your faith lie in these units' ability to bounce back? Like, I think the common logic is that the offense should be able to bounce back and line things up with the defense. And then obviously the special teams. Like, do you still believe this team can put all these units together? Do you have confidence in this?
The Holy Trinity?
You know, right? You know what I mean? Is this going to be, are they going to be able to put this together on a consistent basis? Marlon talked about when we win out for the rest of the season. Like, where are you in your confidence of each one of these units?
Offense, I have no doubt that they can bounce back simply because every team don't have what the Eagles have defensively. Now, I'm talking about regular season wise, not playoff yet. Every team don't have, a guy that should have been the number one pick. Another stout defensive tackle that's pushing 400 pounds and strong as a bull. Linebackers that's flying, edge guys that's flying, and then two young cornerbacks that can really actually cover in DeJean and Mitchell, on top of Slay, who was out. So they're pretty solid defense, and I didn't realize how good they were defensively until we played them. So Giants, not saying we're gonna win, but they don't have that on defense. Steelers, they just know us. I don't even think they have more than Philadelphia. They just know us so well. Cleveland playing that man, which gives us problems because the stats say we have separators, but the film don't say that. And who is that? And it's Houston. And so Houston is iffy right now. But I don't think they have what Philadelphia has on defense. So offense wise, I feel confident that they'll bounce back on top of what Lamar said. And I believe him when he said it, that he just finna go out and I think he cursed and said, do his thing. And defensively, I like the trend. I like where they're trending. If they can continue to trend upward, and I mentioned if they can get to, like, we were before this game, we were ranked 31. But more so the position was the actual yardage for me, because about 3 weeks ago we were at 299 yards passing, giving up. Before this game we were like 271, 272, which that's a dramatic change in 2 weeks. And then we only gave up, I don't know where we at now, but we only gave up 118 this game. So that'll go even further. So we can continue to trend up and go from 32 to maybe 22. I feel confident in our run stopping that we can do some damage defensively, and especially with the communication problem has gotten a lot better on the back end. I'm confident that we can play some okay defense, and hopefully our offense will put pressure on other people's defense and make them mess up. Special teams wise, special teams is the thing that's been baffling me all season.
You seem like you didn't know what to say, Coach.
I know.
But the thing is it's not just Tucker.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not just Tucker. Like when they kick the ball off to us, our kickoff returners get pulverized.
Every time.
Like somebody's always missing the block. Somebody's always, holdings. We had one good return from
kick recoveries against
them too. We had the one good return from Rasheen Ali. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if that's Keaton, that's a touchdown. Because when I tell you that thing opened like the Red Sea, it opened and he tried to hit it, but he just wasn't fast enough. But I'm thinking if that's Keaton and he's, back to 22, 23 miles per hour, he hit that thing and it's sayonara.
Yeah.
But, Keaton needed a rest for whatever reason. But that's another thing. So why we need to give a guy a chance?
Crazy. This guy plays 4 snaps a game. He needs a rest. I don't understand it. But that's what Coach said. He said he's got a lot he's overcoming. He needed a rest. Coach, it was nice to see Roquan back out there. It looked like he was bringing the physicality again. And man, Lane Johnson gave about as high a praise after the game, talking about how he doesn't remember a linebacker calling out their runs before they happen. Like, this guy's the level that he's playing. Is he back to? Did you kind of start seeing him like, all right, Roquan's back after that 1 game absence?
I did, and he didn't look like he lost a step either with whatever was hamstring he was dealing with.
Yeah,
he didn't look like that hamstring hurt him at all. And playing beside him some, I think he didn't have to worry about Trent as much, because I really feel like he wasn't playing like he did last year because he was worried about Trent being in the right spot and doing the right things. And Trent's still a guess and jump in the wrong holes and jump outside for no reason. But Rowe looked like Oro. And he didn't have a lot of tackles, but that don't matter because his impact was felt. And early in the season, he was having a lot of tackles, but I didn't feel like his impact was felt.
I
feel like his impact was felt.
No, I agree with you, Coach. I think one of the things, it wasn't just a schematic thing. Do you remember earlier in the season when Rose struggled against the Bengals, and I swear they dumped it off to Brown only 1,000 times, right? And I think I saw them do that maybe once or twice, and it wasn't like an 8-yard gain. It was like a 3-4 yard gain. It was just kind of a dead play right there. Like traditional Rose stuff, right? Like he makes the tackle in the wide open field. His hands are Velcro type stuff, right? But things that we've grown to take advantage of and expect that we haven't seen this year that we start to see again. So certainly turning a corner. This is where I'm at. Tell me how to think, Glenn and Coach here. Okay. I need to know, do I need to, should I feel confident in these guys and saying, one, we can win out, like we still have the horses to do it, or should I just be happy with anything we can achieve for the rest of the season? Hope we squeak in the playoffs, right? Like, where are you guys thinking about this? Because, and before I ask this question, there's a couple things that are coming to my mind. I'm thinking, okay, we've had some tough losses. This is a late bye. We had a tough schedule. Our offense is the team is of the two major units that's struggling. They seem to be struggling more, which we should be less concerned about. Obviously, we need Justin Tucker to turn himself around, but also has a massive track record of playing really good football, kicking the ball really well. So, should I have faith that this team can win out and go into the playoff with some momentum, or was that just me being a homer?
Oh boy,
this year is really a week-to-week league, man. It's them 4 games. Was it 4 games I mentioned? We struggle with Cleveland. We struggle with the Steelers. You don't know what you're gonna get out of Texans because their quarterback and their receiving core is hit or miss, but they got Nico back and he's been going crazy. The Giants, they got some okay D linemen, but I'm pleased to know that Dexter Lawrence is out, so I think that's gonna help us.
Yeah.
And we got to take it week to week, man, because we could easily win out. We could easily be 1-3. The good thing about it is everybody that's not seeded 7 or higher in the AFC right now is under 500. So you got the 7 playoff teams, and then everybody else is under 500. That's the saving grace for my nervousness right now. Yeah. And the only way that comes into play is if we go 1-3 down the stretch.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm feeling as confident as probably most fan bases out there right now. Like Coach said, I think he said it perfectly. It's a week-to-week league. It's like you talked about the absences. Like how somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, how big of an absence was Kyle Van Noy in this game? Like how much of a difference could that guy have made if he was out there? So every game, it's like who suits up, who has the better game plan, and then who executes it better is really what it comes down to. And so does the team have enough talent and the coaching staff that could, in theory, and has many times this year drawn up a good game plan and then the players execute? Absolutely. So I don't think it's but there's also the potential that we could have a game like we had against the Eagles, where if we play a stout defensive line, especially one with a good front, let's just hope that the offensive line has a good day that day. Corey, appreciate the super chat, Corey. Thanks for the
and if you got a comment, if you forgot, I know people in the past have accidentally done that without putting your comment. Please do, and we'll get to it.
The loss of Van Noy, to me, this game in particular, I don't think it hurt that much because Jalen only threw the ball 18 times,
19 times,
and he's more of a pass rush guy. He can play the run, but I think we have better edges to play the run. So I don't think that loss was too terribly bad. I don't know if his impact would have been felt because they ran the ball, so much and passed it so less. Now he could have got a sack or 2 in there, but because they're Saquon heavy, and then Devontae was out too, they I don't think Van Noy's missing hurt as much as some tend to think. But I would have liked to have him available though.
But I think the overall point is just like every week, it's like who are you without this week, and that could greatly affect your chances of winning, even if it's like we talked about Kohler, the impact of missing that guy. And I mean, you would not think that Kohler's an important key to this offense. In fact, if you had to list our players, it'd be interesting how many you'd list before you get to Kohler as far as level of importance. But we obviously missed him this week. So yeah, it's definitely a week-to-week league out there.
It is. One thing is, it's been 13 weeks since they had a break.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's attrition is real. I'm hoping that this team, look, I liked what Lamar said after the game. I think it was one of our first comments when we were hopping on the show, said really impressed with Lamar's post game. I did come out of that post-game interview being injected with some positivity, right? Like I loved what he said. Take a breath. Like, let's roll, boys. Like, let's do this thing. I think that there's still obviously everything out in front of us. Sure. Has it been perfect or has it been perfect? Of course not. But I mean, at the end of the day, the positivity I'm resting my head on is the fact that we have the horses to do historical stuff offensively, right? And our defense has shown improvement. Do we have enough to beat these teams who have, gotten the best of us in the past? I don't know, but I think we do. I hope so. I surely hope you're right.
We got to put it together though. We have to put it together, but we have the talent to beat those guys. I talked about yesterday, 2012, we won a Super Bowl. We were 1-4 or 1-5 in December before we went on that run.
Yeah.
So that gave me some level of hope that like slowly little things that I've seen or when researched or heard have pulled me out of what I was Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even I think, didn't we have a 3-game losing streak at the end of that season in 2012?
We lost one, won one, then lost 3 in a row. Then miraculously got in the playoffs.
Yeah.
From the wild card spot, won the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Well, let me ask you this, both of you guys this. The game comes down, say we're we got a kick to win the game or lose the game. What's the I mean, how that are you hiding? Are you watching?
You give it to him. You give it to him, but you're on your hand. You give him the opportunity to kick. I don't think you take the opportunity away from him to kick it, but you better be on your hands and knees praying.
If it's 4th and 5 from the 37,
that's 47. That's 52.
You kicking it?
I got to.
Yeah, I don't think there's
how much time left?
30 seconds. You got 30 seconds.
No timeouts left.
One timeout.
I'm kicking it and going to get something to drink.
Yeah.
Not watching it, huh?
No, coach, what you do? You take the shot before it.
Make it on here. No, not a shot. You can't have a shot on the sideline.
I don't even drink, but if I drank,
I would
make that decision. I would make that decision. Take a shot of something strong and hold on for dear life. I tell you what,
it's gonna be one of them plays where you go Tucker and you get everybody on the front line and y'all lock arms.
Yeah,
and pray real hard.
Pray hard as hell. Got to, because I'm scared to death. This guy's.
But it's got to be in there somewhere. It's got to be in there somewhere, right? Like
it's there, but
the yips are real, man.
No doubt.
The yips are real, in every sport.
Hell yeah,
in every sport, and the yips are more prevalent in golf. And what is a leg whip in football? The golf swing.
Yeah,
it's true.
And
baseball, which is
and with the baseball, yeah.
A slant, I mean, remember the pitcher who couldn't throw it to first base? He had to throw it back to the catcher, and the catcher had to throw it to first base because he just the second baseman forgot how to throw it to first base. We've seen it. And then, you mentioned golf. We see it all the time in golf. G. Isaac says, late to the party, but I'll go back and watch. Hey, coach, love your takes, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat and the viewership, Isaac. Appreciate that. But I mean, I think it's just it's funny. Like, I think you're right, coach. We could very well go 4-0 down the stretch. And then we're probably riding high. We're probably on here celebrating, smiling, feeling good heading into the playoffs. Or, we could scratch our claw our way in at 2-2 or hopefully not. But it's possible 1-3. I mean, beat the Giants and you could those are losable games against those other teams. So, man, this is going to be a fun last 4 weeks. But are either of you guys
fun? That's the word.
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. Are either of you guys excited and at all? I'm gonna check out Hard Knocks dropping tonight. AFC North Edition.
As soon as we get off, I'm gone.
You go.
Because I think it just started. It started 3 minutes ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you know what, Coach? If you have to run, we certainly.
I don't. Okay. I'm just when we finish.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I love Hard Knocks. I think the Wire does a good job for the Ravens website.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. And you know what? It made me more interested to watch it when Coach Monken said how much he hates it. It made me want to watch it even more because that tells me, did they get a little extra behind the scenes than Coach wanted to?
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw a clip today, but it was Mike Tomlin. And it wasn't on like the stuff they put out. It was Kimberly Martin. I guess she recorded Mike Tomlin after the game. And you know they're mic'd up because of HBO. As soon as he got to the tunnel, he was like, "Get this shit off of me."
He hated it.
He was taking it during wires off, and then so she was just recording on her phone, and he was dapping people up and cursing, and I guess they had just beat somebody, but he was like, "Get this shit off of me." Them coaches don't like that, boy.
Nah.
Nah. I don't blame him. Let's see. Jared Green says, "Salute, coach and fellas." Shout out, Jared.
What up?
Yeah, man. Well, it's funny, coach, because some of the things you said have me feeling more confident. The other things, not so confident, but they're not as much about what you said as about it's just the facts that you're stating, right? So I'm still nervous on how to feel. I think I'm going to end up leaning confident, but I one of the things I appreciate about you coming on the show every week or every other week is you serve as a good barometer for me as to where I should be about my feelings towards the Baltimore Ravens, because I'm usually a 1 or a 10, and that goes for just about everything in my life. So I greatly appreciate it, coach. That's all the questions I had. Glenn, you got a last one for him?
Nah, that's it for us tonight. Appreciate you joining us, coach. And any last words?
Yeah, I will. As much as we talk about John Harbaugh, I will give him credit for this from a coaching standpoint.
Okay.
And when coaching, your lows are never too low and your highs are never too high. He's always in this borderland butthole-ish temperature, even when we win and when we lose. And so I'll give him credit for staying even keel and not crashing out. Like when we do something really good, or when we do something really bad. He's normally right in this. If you do it on a scale of 1 to 10, he's from 4 to 6, no matter what, which is a great thing for him, despite how much we feel or care or want him gone or whatnot. I do admire that for him, because I know in my high school days, I'll be on 10 or 1, like you, Dan. We win, I'm way up there. We lose, I'm crashing out. And the last thing I say before I get up out of here is, when you look at the conference standings, you got your top 3 teams, but 4 through 7, 8-5, 8-4, 8-5, 8-5. So as long as we just don't fall off a cliff, I think we can just fine. And then we get in the dance, anything goes once you get there.
That's right. Look at that, coach. I love it, man. Appreciate you sending us out with some positivity. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll talk here in the not too distant future.
We'll do. I appreciate that, man. Enjoy,
it, man. Yes, sir. Likewise. Yes, sir. Look at that. I love it. Sometimes you just got to take a little bit of a bigger, broader view of the standings and say, is it as bad as what everyone's kind of making it feel, or maybe is it as bad as it feels when your team loses? But he's right. The Ravens at this point have, are in position to do everything they've wanted from the start of the season. Their goals haven't changed. They still can do anything that they want. And so still happy, still confident that this team is going to get it figured out. I love the direction the defense is heading. I think the offense has the pieces for the most part. But yeah, it's just I tell you what, the area that has me most nervous is Justin Tucker. It's crazy, but I have more confidence that the offense and the defense will get it figured out than Justin damn Tucker, Jimbo. It's crazy.
Yeah. So let me just ask you really quickly. Same, coach. We appreciate it for sure. But do you use? I meant to ask this when he was on, and my apologies, I forgot. Are there any sweeping changes in the bye? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do we see anything?
I think we do see a change at left guard. I'm predicting. Yeah. Maybe I just am agreeing with coach's logic where he said, he said there would be a change. There wasn't. So now that he says there won't be a change, there inevitably will be a change. So, and look, shout out to Nana. Appreciate you coming out. I feel like it's been a little while.
I know. What up, Nana?
Thank you for coming out.
Hopefully
Appreciate
you're doing good.
Yes, absolutely. She says good night. So have a good night, Nana. Appreciate you watching.
And look, Glenn, maybe sweeping could be both guards. Look, John's done things. He fired his OC midseason. John has shown that he can pull the trigger. He just doesn't have a trigger finger, right? Like he's not over excited about.
He's 4 to 6.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. He's 4 to 6. Exactly. I'm glad. Yeah. He's.
Come on now, Jimbo. Don't.
He's even keeled, baby.
He's even keeled. That's right. He's Joe Cool.
He's Joe Cool. That's right. And I'm hopeful that when he does make the decision, it is well thought out and positive for the team. I'll tell you this: I'm not going to be against it and slam it if it works or not.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming something happens. Look, is there a chance that they do actually take this time to test out some kickers? I don't know.
I think if they do they have to do it like secretively?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
can they even let him be shown?
You know what I mean? People gonna
Tucker
be
will be like, who the hell is that sneaking out the back?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The hell?
It's gonna be really interesting to see, but I do think one sweeping change happens.
You don't know what it is?
I don't know what it is yet. I'm just saying I think one of them will happen.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, man, tough loss. But to Coach's point, it's all out in front of us.
Yep.
And exciting that our defense has shown improvement. No reason to think that our offense can't just simply bounce back. And hope that Justin Tucker can come around. But that's all I got tonight, Glenn.
Yeah, that's it for us. We will, of course, be back in the not too distant future to keep you guys up to date on all the goings-ons over at the castle during the bye week. If we hear any personnel changes, any drastic, scheme differences, anything like that, as the coaches do a deep dive and self-evaluate what they've done thus far, we will keep you up to date on all the Ravens news. So make sure you hit the like button, click the notification bell. That way we can do so. But that's it for us tonight, folks. Thanks so much for Coach for coming out and joining us. Thank you, Jimmy, for joining us. And DK even jumped in at the very end. Appreciate you as well. Thank you guys for watching.